Well, hello and good morning, and thank you for joining me in my shop here on June 12th. A thoroughly rainy day. Thank goodness for that, because it really hasn't rained here significantly for about a month. And things were really getting a little serious, but we're having one of these long day, medium, or all day medium rainfalls, which is very, very good. So that's great. That's one of the reasons why I'm in my shop here today. So what to do next with this radio full of unknowns? And known unknowns and unknown unknowns. I won't get into that sort of ridiculous speech there. Well, you know what's left here. There is but only 2 wax capacitors left in this radio. I'm going to get rid of them. And maybe presto, that'll make everything work properly. Not likely, but who first? So this guy is connected to one of these coils, probably oscillator coils. And the short wave's not working, and the oscillators seem to be weird. The local oscillator. This other one, this big guy, let me see part of him here. That's probably on the screen circuits of a couple of these tubes, and is probably very important in preventing a couple of problems. And I don't know if this radio is really exhibiting them, but we're going to change this one out too, because generally speaking, big capacitors do a big job. So that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to start with finding out why is there a wire sticking out here? Going nowhere. And the answer is I don't know. So wire here sticking out with a blob of solder on it, nothing connected to it. It's just, hey, it's one of the, hey, no, that's a known unknown. There we are, right there. I don't think there's any other, I'm looking hard now, wax capacitors. The molded one way up in the back here, but I think that's a replacement too. Yeah, just 2 of them. Which one first? Well, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I'm going to go for this big one over here. Yeah. Okay, I've nipped one wire. Now for the other. There. Let me just put on my mnemonic here. There we go. Okay, where'd that go? Here it is. 0.25. That's a big one. 200 volts. Made in Canada. Aerobox. 0.25, that's a big guy. Hey, let's test this. Let's test this right away. So, this is in pretty good condition. Let me put it on this other. I was going to test it for a leak, but let's test it for its value. Then we'll test it for a leak afterwards. I'm going to use this meter, which I found to be very, very reliable. Now, if in fact the capacitor is leaky inside, then this test result could show a higher capacitance. Let's see what it shows. So it shows 448 nanofarads, which would be 0.4 microfarads. But on here it says 0.25. I got this right? 0.4 microfarads. So, as I mentioned, one of the reasons an instrument like this will read high is because of a leak, an internal leak in the capacitor. Now we'll take a look at that. See what we can find out over here. There's step over this way here. very hard to see in the video, but there is a opening in the magic eye at the bottom here. There, you can see it a little better. Keep your eye on that. When no current is flowing, it's open like this. When the tiniest of currents are flowing, the eye will close. Okay, I'm going to hit the switch down here. For a moment, the eye will snap closed and then should open up again. And it's not opening up. No, not opening at all. So, very leaky capacitor. Now this, I think, is on screen circuits. There's a lot of current available in a screen circuit. So the leak probably isn't having any bearing on the operation of the radio. But the excuse me, and I don't know what to say about this, but I'll say something. The effect on the capacitance when there's a leak in here. And that's all I'm going to say. I don't know how to finish that statement. Okay, so 0.25, it's got to go in there, 200 volts. I'm going to install that capacitor now. Okay, new capacitor is in. It's a little bit bigger than it's a 0.33 instead of a 0.25, but bigger is probably actually a little bit better. Now, I want to measure the voltage across that capacitor. So we're going to switch on the radio. Make sure the volume's up just a wee bit. And here we go. Ground to the capacitor. Okay, that's not much. Ground to the, so there's the B plus. Nothing across it. That's a little surprising. So I'm actually measuring from the chassis to one of the terminals. Huh. No, I don't think anything's shorted in there. Does it work? Okay, we're getting the same kind of response here. Oh, must be 9:15, 9:45, 9:45. Of course, the alarm I can't stop. Okay. AM touching the antenna. Antenna channel. Okay, so a little bit of noise coming through. Actually, I'm hooked up to the let me stop for a minute. Hold it for it. Okay, so this is the output from my big loop antenna behind me, and this goes into the radio here. Wasn't too dramatic. Whoops. Okay, radio. Now I believe the antenna is actually the lead I hooked up to. What are you saying? Hey, babe. Okay, I haven't drank enough coffee at this point. So. Powerful hums. Powerful hums. What would that be? That's not good. That's exactly the kind of stuff that capacitor is supposed to knock out. Did I? I'm sure it's in there. Let me just move it around a bit. to do this. It's just I have the stick in my hand. Just looking for anything that might be loose. No. Okay, well, we'll go after this one next. And we'll see what happens. In fact, you know what? This radio's humming away. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. If anything, it's getting... Often when you work on these radios, they go from bad to worse. At least while I'm working on them, they go from bad to worse. Okay, so this guy's coming out of here. And... this capacitor also goes to ground. This one was hooked up to the terminal with the battery. You can see some of the some corrosion on the copper here. So corrosive gas or liquids actually moving along the surfaces of things and traveling into places you wouldn't want them to go. You wouldn't want it to go. This is a 0.05. 200 volts, made in Canada. Aero box. Well, let's give it a go here. Just going to clean this up so there's something to contact. Let's go over here once again. You know, chances of changing one capacitor and having all the problems in that radio disappear are so small. I don't think I'm particularly close to finishing. I think there's a long journey ahead still. Okay, so this is more of a process of elimination. Once I change this, this cannot be the problem anymore, or a problem anymore. So 50 volts, watch it in the eye. What does it do? Stays closed, completely closed. So this too, leaky capacitor. Don't know where this one is. The last one I was guessing. Guessing it was on the screen circuit. It's a good guess. This guy, well, it's connected to a coil here. Okay. This is definitely an odd arrangement of stuff here. The coil to ground through a capacitor, and directly in parallel with it is a resistor and another capacitor also to ground. Does that make sense? Does that even make sense? You know, it's possible the fellow who worked on this radio just winged it in the end. Just was hooking stuff up here and there, trying to get something to come out. Maybe using faulty theories, which is what I would be doing. 0.05. Okay, we're going to replace that and see what happens. Okay, ready for another attempt. Volume down. They're still hooked up to the loop antenna, which I never really did much with. What happened there? I don't know. Did I leave the shop? What happened? I'm sure there's many occasions where I'm doing these videos and I make a statement, oh, I'm going to do that, and then I never do it, and that's because I forgot, basically. I'll bet you that happens a lot. So perhaps you as a viewer, wait, man, when are you going to do that thing you said you were going to do? I don't do it. Okay, the set should be on. Yep. Where'd the terrible hum go? Okay, let's try tuning it here. This is too awkward. Awkward, man. Some of the swooshy's gone away. Very sharp swooshy sound. Well, I got to run and turn this antenna. No, I don't. I don't have to. What I have to do is put this around 590 or so. What happened? Why? What happened here? This may not have been making a contact with the ground on my antenna. So that's a very low impedance antenna. So it's a bit like hooking up a short circuit across the antenna inputs. So that's actually, the radio quieting down is actually a good sign here. Let's see what we can get. There's that hum. I wouldn't say much. Won't pull the string. It feels like there's no springiness to this. The string is actually quite slack here. Well, let's just take a quick look at it in case there's a quick fix, which I don't think there is. Did I lubricate this guy yet? I may not have. It's really rubbing hard against something. Usually when you put a little oil into the capacitor, it just loosens right up. This has not loosened up. Oh, I got oil on the string. A lot of bad things going on here. This is getting tougher. And there's no way that a knob is going to turn this, and there the knob is turning it. See what I said? No way. Oh man. Live videos. You get egg on your face regularly. Okay, well that's a little better. This shaft itself needs a little lubrication too. That's a lot better actually. How come it tightens up? The string is wandering off the U-shaped area here getting up onto the higher part of the shaft, and that's what I'm feeling. The string is supposed to slide around in here, but these things become rusty, and then the string doesn't slide. It's hard to... What? You want the string to slide in there? Believe it or not? Yes, but this one won't. So towards the extremes, it starts climbing out of the U and up onto the larger diameter of the shaft, which I can feel when I get there. It gets tighter. Well, I can tune the main part anyway. Can I hit 590? Yes. Okay, let's put a little oil down here too. I'll really make this. Sooner or later I had to do this. Might as well be sooner. Okay, that's going to be a little better. As for climbing up on the shaft here, I'm not sure there's anything I can do about that, really. It's climbed right up on the shaft. There, it just slid a bit. Yeah, maybe this will get better as time goes. But it's tuning a lot better now, look at that. Okay, got something to work. I got something now. Something positive happened for this radio. I'm not too sure about changing those two capacitors. Appears to be no reception from the big antenna. I'm a little surprised at that. I thought the radio received something before. Okay. Let's just try it. Now, it still has a loop connected, but it's not acting as a loop antenna. It's just acting as a bunch of wire over there. Let's see. It's a very, very low impedance antenna, maybe upsetting the radio a little bit. So why don't we try, we'll try the outdoor antenna here. I've done a lot of work on my outdoor antennas lately. A lot of work. And they've all improved a little bit. So this is going to an outdoor antenna, but it's not switched on at the moment. I'm just going to put on one wire here. This is liable just to pick up interference from my house right now. Okay, I'm going to run and throw the switch, and then I will be back. Okay, switch is on. Now, of course, I wasn't in the room here. So I don't know if it got suddenly better or worse. There is a station right in this area. We'll hook up the ground, see what that does. Very bad. This is very bad. So everywhere you hear that sound, I think there's a station there. That would be... maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. What is that from? Wow. It's a low hum. High hum. With a thing in between. A couple of birdies in between. Got the tuning to go all the way now. Okay, well, so I think I'm at the point now I can start troubleshooting the radio. There's nothing obviously wrong with it, other than everything is obviously wrong with it. Wow. I was secretly very hopeful I would replace those last capacitors and somehow, you know, the radio would come completely to life. Well, we can be looking at a wiring error made by me or the last guy. I've hardly made any changes, so chances are it would be the last guy. We could be looking at an attempt at improving the wiring of the radio to make it work back when the guy did all this. He may have done other stuff, and I'm saying that because of the look of some of these wires. They just don't look like this one comes across to here and stops, and then is extended another couple inches to go around to there. That's not a factory thing. So, and that's going right onto these coils. So, even this one's been done the same. This wire running through here is extended the last little bit to get over to here. What was the person thinking? I don't really know what he was thinking. He hasn't left any notes. What was he attempting to do? We don't really know. Well, we know about the tubes. The assumption that, wow, this guy would have done a ton of work only to have a bad result. That's a heartbreaker. That's a tough one for me to try to bring it back. Now, yeah, okay, that's my challenge. Figure out how to make this work. Wow. And that's a challenge for another day, because I'm done for today here. Well, thanks a lot for watching. I cannot promise that this radio is going to work well. Didn't it work a bit when I first got it, and now it seems to be not working at all. That's the truth of it. But that can happen in this process. For instance, the alignment could have been twisted way over here to compensate for things in the radio, which I have now fixed or replaced, so they're no longer over here. They're back. They're operating the way they should be, but the radio is still aligned way over here. So maybe just aligning it. Maybe aligning is the next thing to do. How else can I possibly know that the alignment is not the problem with the radio? I have to go through it. That's for tomorrow. Tomorrow's alignment, preliminary alignment day. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'm going to go and, what am I going to do today? I'm going to mess around with my ham radios today, I think. I'm stuck indoors because of the rain. See ya!